he'll be fantastic too. But the president's point man in the Senate, he's on notice.
If he doesn't get repeal and replace done, and if he doesn't get taxes done, meaning cuts and reform, and if he doesn't get a very easy one to get done, infrastructure, if he doesn't get them done, then you can ask me that question.
People close to the president had told reporters he was considering firing special counsel Robert Mueller, but ask the president now, he says he has no idea what you're talking about.
Mr. President, have you thought about or considered leading the dismissal of the special counsel? Or is there anything that Bob Mueller could do that you would send you in that direction?
I haven't given it any thought. I mean, I've been reading about it from you people. You say, oh, I'm going to dismiss him. No, I'm not dismissing anybody. I mean, I want them to get on with the task, but I also want the Senate and the House to come out with their findings.
Here to share their reporting and insights, NPR's Steve Inskeep, Jackie Combs of the Los Angeles Times, Yahoo's Olivier Knox, and Margaret Talev of Bloomberg. Well, the president speaks, and often you wonder just exactly what he means. Sometimes you don't get an answer, other times you do. Like when everyone wondered what the president meant when he said that he could be tougher on North Korea than warning of fire and fury.
If anything, that statement may not be tough enough.
What would be tougher than fire and fury?
Well, you'll see. You'll see.
Well, this morning at 7:29 a.m. Eastern, the president fired off this tweet. Military solutions are now fully in place, locked and loaded, should North Korea act unwisely. Hopefully, Kim Jong-un will find another path. Well, whatever the president's endgame, this is something he'll likely hear when he meets with his Secretary of State, his National Security Advisor, and his UN ambassador later today. U.S. defense officials doubt a preemptive strike of any size using any weapon would eradicate North Korea's arsenal of long-range missiles and nuclear warheads. That could leave the fate of the U.S. and its allies in the region up to untested missile defenses to stop the killing of thousands. Friends and foes alike are alarmed by this verbal one-upsmanship, and some are taking action. Japan says it's deploying missile intercept systems just in case. South Korea alerted all its military personnel to maintain full readiness, while China and Russia claim that they are collaborating on a plan to prevent a full-scale war. And covering all of this is CNN's Will Ripley in Beijing, and he has been to North Korea, we should say, more than any other Western journalist. Also joining us, our White House correspondent Sarah Murray. She's in New Jersey with the president. Will, I want to go to you first. North Korea, this statement, this threat this morning, how do you read it?
I read it as a return to business as usual for North Korea. We did not see them dial up the rhetoric even further with perhaps greater details of their plan that they announced earlier this week about what would have been their most provocative missile strike ever, launching 4 Hwasong-12 intermediate-range missiles and putting them down less than 20 miles from Guam. Now, that doesn't mean that North Korea isn't going to do that. They said that they were putting together a plan that Kim Jong-un would then sign off on it, and then the United States, they would be watching and listening to the rhetoric from the United States. So obviously, all eyes remain on the peninsula, but as of now, there are no imminent signs of a launch, and this statement out this morning from North Korea doesn't seem to up the ante like the statement that was insulting President Trump yesterday. I'll read you just a portion of it. It says Trump is driving the situation on the Korean Peninsula to the brink of a nuclear war. That's a statement we've heard North Korea say many times before about the United States. Also saying, making such outcries as the U.S. will not rule out a war against the DPRK. Obviously, those are very strong words, but we've heard those words from North Korea repeatedly. What was different earlier in the week was this detailed technical plan that they announced that so far is just words on paper. This is still a war of words, as Jim Sciutto put it yesterday, a rhetorical escalation, not a militarization. But the joint military drills are happening in this part of the world this month, as they always do in August and in April. The U.S. and South Korea will be practicing their war games, something that North Korea always gets agitated about, and that's why you had the Russian Foreign Minister, Sergei Lavrov, saying that Russia and China would like to see the U.S. freeze those drills, and then they think maybe North Korea would stop launching missiles, but both parties involved have not given any indication they'd be willing to do that, Dana.
Well, Ripley, thank you so much for that report. Let's now go to Sarah. Sarah, German Chancellor Angela Merkel says she sees no military solution to the North Korea conflict. She adds that escalating rhetoric is the wrong